Joining us from Shiga, Japan, we've got Joichi Hirao, who recently competed and won gold at the All Japan Master Jiu-Jitsu Open Tournament. Hello, Joichi. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm very good. Yeah. Also, I'm happy.
Right on. It's great to speak with you again. I think last time I spoke with you was like 6 or 7 years ago or something like that.
Yes.
In Montreal. Yeah, for sure. It was I really enjoyed that interview. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you again. First and foremost, congratulations on winning gold at the All Japan Master Jiu-Jitsu Open Tournament in the medium heavyweight brown belt division. What motivated you to compete?
What the motivation? To lose my weight.
How heavy are you right now?
I'm not very heavy, like 85 kilogram. But yeah, if I don't compete, so I'm very, very lazy. I become very lazy. So that's one reason. That's a true reason. Also, now I'm teaching kids. So, but sometimes I just teach. So I don't understand what what I say, but just teaching no good. So I should compete to understand more, and I have to try my technique I teach before teaching.
What your students have they said anything in regards to you winning gold at this tournament? What have they said?
Oh, they say congratulations. Mostly my student is kids, like under 12, under 15. Yeah.
I'm sure it's good for them to see, their coach competing and still going out there and in terms of, showing some leadership and motivation. For context, give us a brief summary of your grappling history and experience, where you've trained and with whom. Obviously, I've interviewed you before. I know you, and I'm sure a lot of people know you here in Canada. But for those who may not know you, just kind of give us a brief kind of summary or biography on yourself and grappling.
So mostly I do judo. I started judo like when I was 6 years old. In my grandfather dojo. Then I continue. Then I got the third place third place in All Japan Junior High School tournament under 81 kilogram category. That was my first title in All Japan, third place. After that, I went to high school in Kyoto. Then after that, I went to Tokyo. Tokyo is they have good level of judo. Many universities, competitors, university, and many strong team, professional judo team in Tokyo. Then after that, I joined Park 24 judo team, which is they have coach is Hidehiko Yoshida.
Right. Who fought in Pride FC back in the day. He fought it. Yeah, of course. So sorry. I had to mention that because I'm a fan of his and of course mixed martial arts. But
So I competed a lot in judo. After that, so I went to Canada as a sparring partner for Antoine valois-fortier, who was third place in London Olympic. I was there for 3 years. At the same time, so I started BJJ.
Interesting, right?
In Montreal.
Why did you start BJJ? What interested you in trying a different grappling sport?
Because I was interested that already, but I didn't know how to access. But my judo student introduced me one BJJ school
In Montreal.
in Montreal. Yes,
Right.
that was a Tolister.
Right. Right. So it's very interesting because you've competed obviously in judo, and you know you've also competed in Brazilian jiu-jitsu as you just mentioned. So thank you very much for that summary. I'm sure we're going to go back to it a few times because I have some questions in regards to transitioning from competing in judo to competing in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But speaking about competition, obviously, as you mentioned, you competed at the All Japan Master Jiu-Jitsu Open Tournament. Tell us about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Japan. Like how widely, like is it practiced? You know, is it popular? Is it practiced widely? Which region of the country has a thriving Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community? Would you say it's as popular? BJJ is as popular in Japan as, say, it is here in Canada or the United States. Can you paint that picture for us?
Yeah. Actually, BJJ is not popular as judo in Japan. But now it's getting more famous because many celebrity they train BJJ too.
Interesting. In Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some couple of comedians.
Okay.
And celebrities. Yeah. But not like Canada and the States. Not so famous. But it's coming. Also, Japanese judo guys, sometimes they invite like national team in Japan. Sometimes they invite BJJ guys. You know,
to cross train.
Cross train, yes.
Oh wow. Interesting.
Nakai. Yuki
Right.
Nakai, do you know?
Yeah. Of course.
Sometimes I know they invite BJJ guys.
He's another mixed martial arts legend, of course. I keep referencing to mixed martial arts, but no, of course, everyone knows Yuki Nakai. So it's very interesting that you're saying that the Japanese team, the national team, will cross train in jiu-jitsu, and that also celebrities in Japan are also training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it seems, I guess, as you're mentioning, it's not as popular as judo. That's obvious, I would imagine, but it's still, I guess, popular within popular culture. If you have celebrities dabbling and trying it out, it has some momentum. So now let's talk about the tournament. I'm curious to know about your matches. I've seen the clips and I'm going to add them to this interview actually, but tell us about the tournament, break it down for us match by match, and tell us what was happening during the matches and how you felt throughout each of your matches.
Sorry, before this I have to mention for Japanese BJJ.
Right.
Also, we have big Brazilian communities in Japan.
Right.
Especially Nagoya and Shizuoka. Do you know there?
Right. I do. I've never been, but I can see it on the map. Yeah. Are you speaking up? Sorry, please continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So sorry. So place I competed was Nagoya. Yeah, I saw many Brazilians. I think they raise the level of BJJ in Japan. They have a good level. Some people from Shizuoka, he competed Rising too.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a reason why also, now BJJ becoming popular too.
Because of the connection to mixed martial arts, or
Yes.
right,
Mixed
right,
martial arts is very popular in Japan. Like
right,
before it was Pride.
right,
Now it's Rising.
right. It's interesting that you mentioned the Brazilian community in Japan. Yeah, there's a huge community in Japan, as you mentioned, and even there's even foreigners who other from different parts of the world that live in Japan and train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I have a friend of mine. His name is Kareem Byron, who lives in Osaka, and he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And oh, do you know him? Have you met him?
I don't who.
Kareem Byron.
I don't know him.
He I guess he doesn't compete anymore. I'm not too certain, but he used to compete.
Is he in Osaka?
He's in Osaka. Yeah, he's more in the heavyweights, super heavyweight division.
Okay.
But he was telling me that there's a huge community of Brazilians, and as you said, they really, it's so competitive that they, as you just described, they elevate the quality of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's very interesting to hear. Now let's break down the tournament. Let's talk about your matches.
Yeah. So the tournament was they organized for 2 days. First one absolute.
Nice.
And after that was for categories. So I lost the first day in absolute.
How did you lose? I've seen the fight, but kind of explain to us why you what happened. Break it down for us, please.
Yeah, the guy was strong.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Ichikawa. I think before competing, I search about him. So yeah, I think he won Uchishiba in BJJ.
Oh wow!
Well, yeah, good level, but our match, no point, no advantage at the end. I was always playing on the top. He was always on the bottom. I think he searched me before too.
Of course.
Yeah. he found me. I'm a judo guy,
Right.
They go on he just went on the ground. But I don't have much about. I don't have so much experience of BJJ. Like I sometimes I practice, but competition not so much. I joined like maybe 5 tournaments.
Wow.
So I don't know the rules so much.
Right.
But I was attacking. I tried to attack to show, I attack.
Positive action, right?
Yeah, positive action. Yeah. So I thought I won at the end, but finally, in this decision, so he won. Then I asked another people why I lost. Because BJJ on the bottom is stronger.
Yeah, it's interesting because even I, at the end of that, I was confused. I'm like, well, you're on top. You're pushing the action. We're seeing a lot of positive, jiu-jitsu action, some newaza, etc. But I guess you're right. The visual, I guess, in Brazilian jiu-jitsu is if you're on the bottom, you're in a dominant position. Well, if you're playing God. For for BJJ, as in if you're in guard, if you're at the bottom, it's seen as, I guess, maybe more dominant. But it's strange, I suppose, for people who watch it, and they can see the fight. It is on YouTube as well. You've posted it on your channel, so people can see it. I think you posted that one. Did you?
Yeah, I posted everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I'm going to add it to this clip. But it's good that you ask people, because by the end of it, it is a little confusing that it goes to judge's decision and they award it to him, because quite frankly, I know I'm interviewing you, but I saw the fight and I saw way more action from you, and continuous action. And I'm not saying your opponent wasn't being on the offensive, but he seemed to be more defensive than, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
I know. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so tell us. So that was day one, the absolutes. Was he heavier than you, or?
Yeah, heavier than he was in heavy category.
Okay. Yeah, I think he was taller than you as well. So maybe he was what, 90 kilos or
90 kilo, yeah, around.
Right.
Yes. He was 19 centimeters.
Okay, yeah. He's like 6'3" or something. Yes.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he seemed he seemed very strong. How was his guard? How would you rate his guard game?
His guard was good to defend, because he had long arm and long leg.
Right.
Just he does like this. Yeah, was a good guard, so I cannot go forward. Because also I'm very bad for triangle on the bottom.
Right.
I was very concerned about this, so I couldn't be. I couldn't be aggressive.
Right.
Still, I was thinking, how to win at that time, first day.
Did you want to win by submission? Was that the plan? Because I think your other two matches, you submitted your opponents, but the following day, that is. But did you go in with the intention to beat him via submission?
Yeah. My plan was like this. I passed the leg, knee slice.
Right.
But no. But after that, I was very angry.
I could see it in the video. After the ref calls it, you could see it in your face. You're like, and explain to us. So if you were to do a rematch against this guy, what would you do different this time if you were to have a rematch?
Yeah, so I will be more aggressive. I just go forward more. So I was thinking, waiting and thinking too much. Because match is like 6 minutes. So I thought I had more time. But not like this. Then for second day, I changed my mind. I just be aggressive, go forward like judo.
Right. And we see that. We see you immediately, attacking. I think your first opponent, your first match, you finished him in like 90 seconds, not even?
That was final.
Oh, that was the final. Sorry. Yes. Okay. But the previous match, I guess your first one, it was about 5 minutes or so, but I think you finished that one via submission. Do you want to break down that match for us?
Yeah. Actually, first, my opponent was stronger than final. Also, he's from Shizuoka, so which is a good level region.
Right.
So he physically he was strong. Yeah. Also, I talked to him after the competition.
Right.
So he also searched about me. So I'm a judo guy. That's why he come, go down. immediately on the bottom immediately. Physically strong, but now I know if I go on the top, I would lose.
That's so ironic. It's funny because you would think it would be the other way around, right? Like you're on the top, you're dominant, but I guess in BJJ, it really depends, right? We're generalizing, but if it goes to the judge's decision, they see the guard game possibly as more important. What are your thoughts on your first opponent on the first day? You said he was very strong. How was his gripping strong? What was strong about your first opponent? Was he like overall, like his Niwaza was strong? What aspect of his game was
physically strong, and he had the good guard.
Okay.
He said he did rugby before.
Oh wow!
Starting.
Okay. Interesting.
Physically strong.
Right. And tough, again, because rugby is a very tough sport. And mentally tough.
Yeah, he was tough. Also, he played just BJJ, technique of BJJ. So it doesn't fit me, If someone does like they have a good judo base, I'm okay. They don't do like spider guard, lasso. They don't do. They fight like me. I like this. I'm very. How can I say? It's easy for me. But people play BJJ and especially someone that's nogi. Very difficult for me to fight.
How come?
Because they do different things from judo. So especially nogi guys, they try to attack my leg.
Right.
Sorry.
No, please continue. Please continue.
Yeah. Still, like I don't know how to protect. Just by feeling. Bend the knees. Don't give the leg.
There's a lot of serious submission holds, right? With the legs, heel hook, knee bar, straight Achilles. It's pretty. It's certainly dangerous if you're facing some really good nogi grappler and he gets your leg. So how did you manage to beat your first the first opponent? Because you finished him via submission. How did you manage to dominate that match and finish your opponent?
I always go forward, so try to pass the leg. That's it. My head is like just like this. If I think too much, so I don't have so much experience with BJJ, so it will be their game, But strong point of judo is aggressive, is explosive. So I was just thinking like this, just attack, that's it. Also, I found, so I'm physically strong because I fought with Olympic team and many strong judo people. Sometimes I fight like a very, very big guy, which is who has like 120 kilogram like this.
Wow.
Yeah. So even I get tired because I always I always try to pass, so I get tired. But I notice they get more tired at the end.
They do. And sorry, please continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So physically strong. So that's came from judo. Judo guys has a lot of strong physical.
And also endurance, as you mentioned, right? Because of all that training, you've built up quite the endurance. And it's interesting because with both matches on day two, as you mentioned, both of your opponents were exhausted, and you overpowered them. Which submission did you use to finish the first opponent?
First opponent, kesagatame and armbar.
Right.
Armbar with legs.
Right, with your leg, and how easy was that to apply? Was your opponent surprised that you were going for that submission, or was he? Did he see it coming?
For me, once pass up 2 legs, I think it's my game. Judo is very strong after passing the leg for osaekomi.
Right.
If I pass 2 legs, so I know I can win.
It's interesting. Please,
so sorry. Yeah, they cannot escape from my osaekomi. But before passing the guard, that's very hard for me.
Right. It's interesting because you for both opponents, you essentially use the same strategy, right? You passed their legs and you went into kesagatame, and from there you finished it via armbar. What did that winning the first match? How did you feel after you won, considering that the day before you had lost by judge's decision? But the next day, your first match, you won by submission. How did you feel when you won that match?
I was very happy. Finally, my judo. So I adapted my judo to BJJ. Also, I haven't compete for 3 years.
Wow.
In BJJ. So, I was kind of lost from first day. I used my judo, then I beat him. So I was very happy. Yeah.
Right on. And leading into your second match, how did you feel, or what did you know about your opponent in the final match there? Did you know? Did you see him compete? Did you know what to expect?
No, actually, he didn't fight. First fight. There was no opponent.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I didn't see his fight. My mind was just attack like first fight.
Right, and you did that right away because the match was, I believe, 80 or 90 seconds long, and not even. Explain to us what happened during that match. How did you beat him?
Just I did ouchigari before he go on the ground, but almost at the same time he go on the ground. But I applied ouchigari before he go on the ground.
Right.
As 2 points, then pass the leg immediately, then kesagatame, arm lock. Same technique with first fight, first match.
What was your opponent's reaction? Was he like shocked as to how, because you finished him pretty quickly? Was he shocked? Was he surprised?
He was kind of surprised. Yeah.
I think even the referee was probably surprised because you moved right through and you finished him off. What I guess the question I want to know now, because you mentioned you hadn't done much BJJ for 3 years, and you're coming into it now again with the judo mindset. Is it easy for you to? Well, that's probably not a fair question, but as far as transitioning from judo Niwaza to Brazilian jiu-jitsu Niwaza, what's the hardest part for you when you try to switch your approach?
to understand the rules.
Right.
Yeah, that's very different. Even like my first match in first day. So in judo, when I'm on the top, so I could win. I think all judo guys, they don't wanna put back on the ground. But in BJJ, we have many movement, so we put back on the ground in newaza.
Right.
So that was when I started BJJ. That was very hard to adapt this how can I say mentality,
Right.
technique. But if I I put back on the ground, so I can apply more techniques.
Right, and it is a challenge, right? Because you're so used to a certain movement and a certain position from all the years of judo, and to transition to something that seems counter to that, putting your back on the ground is very foreign, I would imagine. I want to know, what does winning this gold medal mean to you and your long journey in combat sports? What does this medal mean to you?
Gold medal meaning is when I was an athlete, I just wanted to go to Olympic. Just it was gold medal means just process for me.
Right.
But now gold medal, mostly I'm teaching, so I just want to encourage my students. Then I get my gold medal. I'm happy. Of course, I'm happy. Then in BJJ, so I prove we can adapt judo to BJJ. If I lose first fight, so I can't say anything, right?
Right. What, on that note, I'm curious to know, in preparation for this tournament, what did you focus on during your training? What sort of drills did you do, and what were you intending? Like, what was your regiment like in preparation for the tournament?
Yeah, mostly I teach and train at the same time with under 15 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, but when I do randori with them, just tachiwaza randori, but randori, they start from tachiwaza. But most of judo athletes, they just stay standing.
Right.
Even if there is a chance for newaza, they stand up. But I always go newaza from any position. They are so kids, so physically not strong, but yeah, good to uchikomi for me. And also, I train another BJJ dojo once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, open mat.
For open mat.
Yeah.
How's that over there? How is it training at a different dojo with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu cuts? Is it just randori that you're doing, or
yeah, just randori. Just randori.
Okay.
Just randori, like 1 hour and a half.
Oh wow. So 90 minutes of just pure fighting.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
I like open mat, normal open mat. But this dojo has a lot of judo guys.
Okay.
No, they don't play spider guard or lasso.
Right. Well, what do you think of the spider guard and the lasso and all these cool innovations as far as Niwaza goes.
That's very, very smart. Like fit with the BJJ rules. Yeah. But in judo, yeah, we have mate, if we stop on the ground, we have to stand up immediately. Like, yeah, we cannot apply in judo. But very, very annoying for me. I don't like it. So there is not so much these guys, but like white belt, like they have many black belt.
Oh, wow.
They are good level, but they did judo, so they play like me, like
Right.
pressure, osaekomi. But I don't wanna. No, not I don't wanna. But in competition, they play lasso and spider guard, so I have to practice this. But white belt, blue belt, they have pure BJJ guys.
Interesting.
I always put them spider guard. Then I train in sparring. Yeah,
Right.
that's good. Physically not strong for me, but so I can understand how to escape. What happened? Yeah.
What do you think makes a great BJJ player, and what are some of the key skills, characteristics, and attributes that make for a well-rounded grappler and BJJ player? In your opinion, what do you think makes a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player?
Yeah, I think judo is more. We also need technique, but we need explosion. BJJ, they need technique. I found BJJ guys, they don't have explosion so much. But strong BJJ people, they are also physically strong. So your question is, yeah.
In terms of like what makes a great BJJ player, what sort of is it more technique? Is it more flexibility? What are some of the characteristics that that make for an excellent BJJ player, in your opinion?
Do you know Pascal?
Do I know?
He's a Brazilian. He was in BTT in Montreal, but now he's in Brazil. He's like top 3 or 2.
Okay.
In the world.
Oh wow. Okay. No, I don't know. Don't know him.
When I was in Canada, so I trained with him. He's strong, very strong. So he had good technique and physically strong. He's small, like 70 kilo.
Okay.
He got me a lot.
Oh. So you're saying it's a combination of technique and strength.
Strength. Yeah.
Which techniques would he use on you to beat you? Do you recall? Was there one particular technique that he would use?
Choke and submission. But high level BJJ athlete, they never come standing with me.
They don't want to do the tachiwaza, or no?
No. Yeah, it means smart,
Right.
They fight in their rule.
Sure.
Mm, 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 mm.
It's
Yeah.
it is. I mean, it would be wise to avoid the stand up
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
someone
avoid.
like
Mm,
with your skill sets. I mean, because like keep in mind if they've never been thrown, they probably don't know how to break their fall. If they don't know how to break their fall, it's they're gonna get hurt. Like I remember when you first, I think your first ever Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament was in Ottawa, I believe.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Remember?
Yes, I
Yeah, yeah.
remember.
I remember your match. You took your opponent down with Osoto, and it's interesting because I mean it was a huge, loud boom, and the crowd just went wow. Because at some of these Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, you're lucky if you get to see any stand up. I'm not saying there's no stand up. Of course there is, but it's limited, as far as it's predominantly on the ground, which is awesome for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying, I remember when you debuted and you took your opponent down like that, it made a big impression. And I think the point you were saying that, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys don't want to stand with you. Why would they want to? You're going to throw them and it's to your advantage, as you were saying, because their rule sets favor the ground. Now, in your opinion, does your judo background add value to your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in terms of tactics and overall grappling IQ?
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah. But basically, I think judo doesn't need BJJ techniques. BJJ doesn't need judo techniques. Basically like this. But if so, we know each other. So maybe our skill becoming better. Mm. Mm. Sorry, what do you want? Okay.
No, you've answered it. You've answered it because what you're saying, like I'll ask you the question again. I was just asking if your judo background adds
Yeah.
value to your BJJ in
Yeah.
terms of overall grappling IQ and tactics. But you're saying that like judo Niwaza is judo Niwaza and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ground work is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And they don't need each other, you're saying, right? Like they don't necessarily need each other for their respective sports, but it's good to know of each other, right?
You know each other, yeah.
Which makes sense. I totally see the value in that. Now, I want to know, has a follow-up to that, has BJJ improved your judo Niwaza? If so, how has it improved it?
BJJ, you mean BJJ improves judo newaza?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, of course. Yeah. They have very good submission. And how to move is very different. Judo, we stay on the turtle
Right.
until referee say mate. But if I do this in BJJ, so they're gonna catch on the ground and on my back. Then they put the legs inside. They get point. Then after that they choke. So yeah, but BJJ doesn't have this one. So they never become turtle. They once they become, if they become turtle, they go back to guard position, right? Full guard. So judo, yeah, we don't have this idea. So I do this to judo athletes. They're confusing.
That's awesome. That's great. It's good to confuse them like that. In your opinion, and based on what you know, and I think you've answered this question already, are international judo competitors, are they adding Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques to improve their Niwaza? Are you seeing that?
Like yeah, Travis Stevens, and I think I don't know who.
I think Clarice Agbeganu from France. I think she's a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or
Yeah.
blue belt or purple belt.
Agbe?
Supposed Agbeganu, yeah. She's doing BJJ. But earlier on you mentioned that with Yuki Nakai doing training with the national team, with the national judo team. Do you think we're going to be seeing more Brazilian jiu-jitsu techniques in international judo, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think. No, I don't know. I don't know this one because normally judo guys they don't like BJJ, the style.
Right.
Me too. So first, like I how can I say? I don't like BJJ because they stay on the ground.
Right.
Once I started, so my idea changed. So they have many good techniques.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think once you give it a chance, right? Once you give the sport a chance, you may enjoy it and you might get a lot from it. I know that who said it in an interview? I think I heard John Danaher mention something along the lines that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is like one of the fastest growing recreational sports, predominantly like amongst like, older people. By older, I'm not talking about, teenagers. I'm talking like obviously like 30 and 40 and so on. And I mean, you could imagine, how more like, if you're a 40-year-old or 30-year-old or even a 50-year-old, do you want to be thrown around 50 times a day? Probably not. I mean, it's almost easier, and and it is and it isn't, to just do newaza, right? And not be thrown and not because some there's a risk of injury when you're thrown if you don't know how to land properly, if you even practice ukemis and break falls. So the thing with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is I think from what he was saying is that it's almost more marketable for older people if they want to train, because it's not as hard training as judo, right? You're basically on the ground. And don't get me wrong, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is extremely tough and challenging, of course, at a competition level. But for recreationalists who don't intend on competing, it's just a form of exercise, right? And it's more or less, it's safe. It's safe. You're on the ground. You're not going to get thrown. And you're not using power. You're using technique. So I mean, there's that aspect to it. But it's interesting that you gave the sport a chance and you enjoyed it, and now you're a gold medalist in Japan in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, are you actively teaching and sharing your grappling knowledge? You mentioned that you're teaching mainly kids. What's it like teaching kids judo in Japan? And tell us where we can find you online and your dojo.
Okay, so my dojo name is Seishinkan. So I teach both like tachiwaza and newaza, but I focus on more newaza because it's my strong point. Also transition. So most of judoka they think separately. tachiwaza, newaza. But the key to improve good newaza, so we should do both at the same time. I teach these kids always. Tachiwaza, newaza, same things. Judo. Then, yeah, where you can find my dojo. So I started online class.
Right.
Online class. So yeah, before COVID, when I was in Canada, so I started clubs judo gatame, but for COVID, I had to close. I had to leave Canada. So, but still, I want to teach, not just in Japan.
Right.
That's why I created Kosen Judo online. So first, now we are focusing Kosen Judo style judo techniques. So you can find this. I think you can type Kosen Judo online. This.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So for people who don't know what Kosen Judo is, can you just give them a brief definition or explanation as to what is Kosen Judo?
Kosen Judo means just Kosen means older name of Japanese school, which before now we have American school system like elementary school, junior high school, then university. Kosen school is like Sejap,
right?
Like between high school and the university,
like a technical school.
Yeah.
Right.
So Kosen Judo is the rule set for them. But before judo, they play same rules. Like Kosen, they had hikkomi. They could do pull guard immediately.
Right.
They grab. But Kodokan changed because they want to focus on more tachiwaza. But they didn't. Kosen Judo, they didn't follow. That's why they're focusing on more newaza.
Question for you regarding the Japanese women's judo team. They're really, they're really good in Niwaza and competitions. And I've been asking people this question a lot. What is it about the Japanese women's team and their like really dominant use of Niwaza? Do you know anything about why they're so good at Niwaza? What is it? Is it do they train exclusively in Niwaza? And how come we don't see the men use as much Niwaza?
I heard I think Japanese women national team has more good Niwaza than men.
Right.
Like Hamada.
Right.
I heard about her history. So I think
Sambo?
No.
She competed in Sambo, I believe.
I think she got injured on the leg.
Okay.
Then she focused on Newaza. Yeah, Hamada got injured. Then he focused on she focused on newaza. Then she copied Kashiwazaki. You know Sensei Kashiwazaki?
Right. Yes.
Like legend of newaza in Japan.
Right. Right.
So yeah, her style is like this. Also, yeah, they don't separate also newaza and tachiwaza. I never seen her randori, but I think she continue.
Oh, you've never seen her randori?
I never seen her randori, but I can see in her competition.
Right.
She doesn't separate.
Right.
I think in practice, normal tachiwaza randori, she continue to newaza.
I think recently she just competed, and in a recent match, I think I saw her try a standing armbar on her opponent, which was cool. But her opponent flicked her off. Balandi from Italy flicked her off like that. Now, I want to know a last question for you, sir. When is your next competition? And what are your goals as a competitor? Because you mentioned that you're not competing much these days. You're doing more teaching. But what are your goals moving forward? And if it involves competition, when's your next competition?
My next competition should be September. That's a judo tournament, masters.
Okay.
It's also master. Because now I gave up to join senior judo tournament because yeah, I need practice like 7 day a week.
Wow.
Found it. Yeah.
It's that competitive, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we have many good university and professional team. So before I could fight because I train like 7 day a week. Now I teach, then I practice under like 15 years old. So yeah, I competed last year. So just they stay, push, then I resist to not go out of tatami. But I can't stay. So I go outside of tatami, then referee gave me shido.
Wow.
So physically too strong first.
Wow.
So now I understand. So if we have good technique, even now, I teach. So I think I understand like techniques well. But if we don't have power, physical, not so physically strong, so doesn't work. We need both.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate this conversation. I'll be posting this and I'll be tagging, I'll be adding your website. So if people want to train with you online, I'll definitely do that. But I want to wish you all the best at your next tournament in September, and hopefully you can share some footage and clips for us to see. All the best to you, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your time too.